Today we're covering STAAR Mixed Review number 1. Question 1 says Chloe is 5 feet 4 inches tall. There are 2 54 centimeters in 1 inch. What is Chloe's height in centimeters? So we're going to use the rate they gave us and change her height to centimeters. Well, I noticed that the rate they gave us is in inches, so I'm going to need to change Chloe's height to just inches. 5 feet times 12 would let us know that her height is 60 inches plus the 4. Total height in inches is 64 inches. To change 1 to 2.54, we would need to multiply by 2.54. So I need to multiply that times Chloe's height to find the answer. Chloe's height in centimeters is 162.56. Number 2. Figure JKLM is similar to figure PQRS. Complete the following to make the proportions true. They must write these in the same order as they match. So the easiest thing to do is look at one of the shapes. I'm going to use the one they gave us first and put the letters inside the shape as they line up. So I noticed J is the first letter, and over here P is the first letter, so J goes with P. Please label the figure. K goes with Q, L goes with R, and M goes with S. So when I line up my proportions, those letters have to match up. QR goes with KL. QP goes with KJ. They have to line up in the same order. If they list K first, then Q goes with it. So everywhere there's a Q, K has to go with the Q. Everywhere there's an R, L has to line up with it. And where there's an S, that goes with M. And P goes with J. All you did was really match up the letters. Number 3. The dimensions of a triangular prism are shown in the diagram. What is the volume of the triangular prism in cubic centimeters? I need the volume of a prism. The formula for volume of a prism is area of the base times the height. And I know that where there's a capital letter B, I need to plug in a different formula. So the shape of this base is a triangle, and the formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Then we still have to multiply times the height of the prism. The height of the prism is the distance from one base to the other. So that's going to be 16. And then I need to plug in the other numbers based on the base. 1/2. And the base of the triangle is 6, and the height of the triangle is pointing to the 4. Then we work that out. You can simplify. You can pick any one of the numbers because it's multiplying. I know that 3 times 4 is 12, so I'm going to multiply 12 times 16. So the volume of this prism is 192 centimeters cubed. Number 4. Number 4 says 2 rectangles were used to form the following figure. Use the ruler provided to measure the dimensions of the figure to the nearest 1/4 of an inch. What measurement is the area of the shaded region of this figure in square inches? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. When a problem says to use the ruler provided, they're talking about the ruler on your mathematics chart. See, on the side there is a ruler. That's what you use to measure. And the problem we're working on talks about 1/4 of an inch. Remember, a 1/4 is 1/4. So we need to find where the 1/4 markings are. Notice that some of these lines are just a little bit longer and some of them are short. The ones that are a little bit longer are the 1/4 marks. So this is 1/4. This would be 2/4, or 2/4 is 1/2. And the next one would be 3/4. So see, the next line that's long is right there. That's not going to be 1/4, it's going to be 1 1/4. And then the next one would be 1 2/4, or 1 1/2. And the next one would be 1 3/4. And so on. So look for the lines that are just a little bit longer. Those are the 1/4 marks. Okay, back to our problem. It says to measure the area of the shaded region. So I notice that the shaded region is a very large rectangle. And there's a smaller rectangle inside of it. To find the area of the shaded region, I'm going to need to find the area of the big rectangle and subtract the little rectangle. The formula for a rectangle is base times height. So I'm going to need the base and the height of both the big rectangle and the little rectangle. So if you use your ruler that was provided on your mathematics chart, you'll find that from here to here is about 3.5 inches, which I'm going to put as 3.5 because 0.5 is a half. And then from here to here is about 3 inches. Then I need to find the little one. But let's go ahead and mark the big one down. That was going to be 3 times 3.5. Then we measure and find the little one. So if I measure from here to here, I'm going to get 2.5. And then from here to here is 1 3/4, which is 1.75. So for the little rectangle, I'm multiplying 2.5 times 1.75. Then we just need to work it out. So for the big one, the area would be 10 and a half, or 10.5. Now we find the area of the smaller rectangle. Which is 4.375. Now you subtract. Be careful to line up the decimals. And that top number is going to need some extra zeros so that we can borrow. So the difference in the two areas is 6.125. However, it said to round it to the nearest whole number. So the nearest whole number would be 6. 6 inches square. Number 5. The net of a square pyramid is shown in the diagram. What is the total surface area of the square pyramid in square inches? So the total surface area, we're going to find the area of 4 triangles and the area of a square that's in the middle and put them together. So the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height plus the area of the square, which is base times height. And then we plug in the numbers. 4 times 1/2 times the base of the triangle. Since it's a square, all the sides are the same, so the base of the triangle is 8 and the height is 9. Plus the base of the square is 8, and since it's a square, the height is also the same. Remember, you can simplify that 2 with another even number, which leaves me with 2 times 8 times 9. So this side is 144, plus 8 times 8 is 64. And if you add those together, you get 208 inches squared. Number 6. An isosceles triangle has a base angle that each measures 42 degrees. What equation can be used to find z, the measure of the third angle of this isosceles triangle? Well, there's 3 angles in a triangle. And I know if I add all 3, I get 180. It says that one of them is 42. It also calls it an isosceles triangle. Isosceles means 2 sides are the same, or 2 angles are the same. So if 2 angles are the same, one of them's 42, the other one's 42. I'm just missing one angle. Well, 42 plus 42 makes 84. Then I need to subtract 84 from 180 to figure out what the missing angle is. The missing angle is 96 degrees. So Z equals 96 degrees. Number 7. Gabriel has these cans of soup in his kitchen cabinet. 2 cans of tomato soup, 3 cans of chicken soup, 2 cans of cheese soup, 2 cans of potato soup, and 1 can of beef soup. Gabriel will randomly choose 1 can of soup. Then he will put it back and randomly choose another can of soup. What is the probability that he will choose a can of soup, a can of tomato soup, and then a can of cheese soup? Probability is just a fraction. So we're going to need a total. How many cans of soup does Gabriel have? His total is 10. So the probability of getting a can of tomato soup would be 2 out of 10. And to figure out a combination, which is what we're doing, can of tomato soup and a can of cheese soup, that's a combination. We multiply. So 2/10 times, what's the probability of him getting cheese? Also 2/10, 2 out of 10. You can simplify before you work that out. And we get 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 times 5 is 25. So the probability of him getting both cans of soup is 1/25. Number 8. A group of students stood in a circle to play a game. The circle had a diameter of 22 meters. What measurement is closest to the circumference of the circle in meters? The formula for circumference, according to our mathematics chart, is 2 times pi times radius, or pi times diameter. Which formula do you think we need to use? Well, since they gave us the diameter, I think we should use the diameter formula. So I'm going to multiply pi, which is 3.14, times the diameter, which is 22. And I get 69.08, and that was meters. Number 9. Bailey will roll a number cube and flip a coin for a probability experiment. The faces of the number cube are labeled 1 through 6. The coin can land on heads or tails. Make a list that contains all the possible outcomes of the number cube landing on a number greater than 4. Greater than 4. So what numbers on the number cube are greater than 4? 5 and 6. Okay, but when she flips the coin, she could get either heads or tails. So she could roll the number cube and get 5 and then heads, or 5 and then tails. Or she could roll the number cube, get a 6 and then heads, or 6 and then tails. That's our list. Number 10. The manager of a music store surveyed a random sample of customers who shop in the store about their favorite type of music. The table shows the number of customers who selected each type of music. Based on the information in the table, Which inference about the favorite type of music of all customers who shop in the music store appears to be valid? A says they are certain to select rock or pop music. For something to be certain, there has to be no other choices. And I can see there are other choices besides rock and pop, so it can't be that. B says they are less likely to select country or rap than rock music. So if we put 27 plus 12 together, that would be 39. Is 39 less than rock, which was 37? No. C says they are more likely to select country music, which was 27, than jazz, classical, or rap. Well, jazz was 5, classical was 9, and rap was 12. If we add all those together, we get 26. Is 26 smaller than 27? Are they more likely to select country? Yes, according to this survey, those three are less than 27. D states they are certain to select any type of music other than jazz. Again, certain means there can't be any other options, and I can see there are other options than jazz. So the correct answer is C. Last question. Jack tossed a coin 3 times. Which diagram shows all the possible outcomes of the coin landing heads up or tails up? Okay, well, first of all, there needs to be 3 choices. So he could either get heads or heads again? No. It would be heads or tails. Then the second time, he would either need to get heads or tails. And then the third time, he would need to get heads or tails. Heads or tails. So which one shows correctly? Well, this G seems to be missing the other possible. He can't just get tails. He would need to get maybe heads or tails. And J is missing the other option for tails, so it has to be H.